Russia's high technology is becoming a driver of Russian influence in the East. But about that immediately, after we list the most interesting events that took place in our country during the week. So, the Ministry of Transport of Russia and GLONASS JSC started testing the Federal Navigation and Information System. The FNIS, created on the basis of the GLONASS ERO State Information System, forms a state digital platform for monitoring various types of transportation, including public transport, aerial drones, and ambulances. The new narrow-line streetcar Model 7-1411, manufactured by Uraltransmash, has arrived in Piatigorsk and is being prepared for its first tests. The single-section, partially low-floor streetcar is equipped with GLONASS navigation system, air conditioning, ventilation, and interior lighting systems. The railcar can carry up to 179 people. It is designed specifically for operation in urban areas where the track width is only 1,000 millimeters and urban infrastructure is located very close to the line of travel. Concern Radio Electronic Technology has developed the Groza 04K FPV drone countermeasures complex. The first batch has already been sent to the troops. Groza 04K has passed all necessary checks and tests, during which it confirmed its technical characteristics and high efficiency. The second phase of the greenhouse complex, Derinator, with an area of 11.5 hectares, was opened in the Leningrad region. The new acreage will be used to grow tomatoes. The cost of the project is 5 billion rubles. The total production area of the greenhouse complex, Derinator, is 26 hectares. Projected production in 2024 is just over 5,000 tons. EFCO launched a 3.5 billion ruble plant in the Belgorod region. The first phase of the plant will annually produce about 5,000 tons of products, functional proteins, and dietary fibers intended for the meat processing, bakery, and confectionery industries. In addition, these ingredients will be used to produce dietary and sports nutrition. Kraft Technology I on Wednesday launched a plant in the Rostov region to produce refrigerator and freezer equipment. The project was implemented in the territory of Advanced Development Donetsk. About 1 billion rubles has been invested in the establishment of the enterprise. Up to 100,000 units of freezing equipment will be produced here annually. The second stage of Rosatom's Trinovskaya TPP in the Stavropol territory began supplying electricity to the unified Russian grid. In total, the Trinovo wind farm has an installed capacity of 95 megawatts and consists of 38 wind turbines. Rosatom's total installed wind power capacity exceeded 1 gigawatt. The first global images of the Earth were acquired by the MTV Z80YA and MSUMR sensors of Meteor-M spacecraft number 24. The unique microwave scanner sounder is one of the main types of target equipment onboard Meteor-M series meteorological satellites, which performs round-the-clock and all-weather monitoring of the atmosphere and the Earth's surface through 40 spectral channels in the range from 6 to 190 gigahertz. Fosagro launched a new fertilizer complex in the Leningrad region. The volume of investments exceeded 34 billion rubles. The output of mineral fertilizers here will grow fourfold to more than 1 million tons per year. The company has built new production facilities for extraction phosphoric and sulfuric acids, water-soluble mineral fertilizers, and a process steam utilization complex, which provides the enterprises with more than 80% of their own power generation. And for the first time in the last 52 years, Russia has built a full production cycle plant for the production of tractors. The area of Rostelmash Enterprise is 14 hectares, of which the production area is 62,000 square meters. The production capacity of the tractor factory is 5,000 machines per year. The tractor plant receives about 80% of components for production from its own production sites and other domestic enterprises. Let us now turn to Russian high technologies, which are the driver of our influence in the East. The state corporation Rosatom intends not only to build a second nuclear power plant in Turkey and Sinop, but also to participate in the tender for a third plant. Rosatom's confidence in its position is well-founded. According to Likachev, head of Rosatom, Turkish authorities are satisfied with the progress of work on the establishment of the first NPP in Mersin province with Russian participation AKU. An intergovernmental agreement on the construction of this facility was signed in May 2010. 5 years the project involves the construction of 4 1,200 megawatt units and their sequential commissioning at 1-year intervals from years 23 through 26. Rosatom will own 51% of this NPP, while the remaining 49% may be distributed to foreign investors or international banking institutions. At the same time, Russian enterprises supply equipment and high-tech products. This is the world's first nuclear power plant project based on the build, own, operate model. We are building it, and we will own it. In the future, Turkish specialists trained and educated at our university, National Research Nuclear University MEPHI, will participate in the operation of the plant at all stages. AKUJ will be able to provide 10% of Turkey's energy consumption and reduce its dependence on oil, gas, and coal. Accordingly, the power plant will be an important step in strengthening the republic's energy security and will accelerate its economic growth. The cost of the project is $20 billion. The need to develop nuclear power in Turkey was discussed in the early 70s, but no practical steps were taken to realize this idea for more than 30 years. It was not until 2007 that a law was passed regulating the construction of nuclear power plants in Turkey. This, by the way, was exactly the year when Rosatom replaced the Federal Agency for Atomic Energy. Following the signing of the ACUJ construction agreement, the joint JSC AKUJ nuclear was established. However, the tragic 2015 airplane crisis between Moscow and Ankara in Syria put the brakes on the process. The project resumed in 2016. In 2019, the construction of the first unit began, in 2020, the second, in 2021, the third, and in 2022, the fourth. In April 2023, with the remote participation of Presidents Putin and Erdogan, the first batch of nuclear fuel was laid down. The entire plant is scheduled to be commissioned in 2028. The 4 units will generate a total of 35 billion kilowatt-hours of electricity. By the way, by using the station's capacities, the Turkish authorities will save up to 15% of the gas consumed by the Republic, which is equivalent to 10 billion cubic meters. It follows that Russia has already started turning Turkey into a gas hub. And here is about Kuyu, the most important element of all of this. Without it, Turkey will not become an interesting hub for Europe with 60 billion cubic meters by 2028, as it plans to do. For Moscow, however, it is also of particular importance that in fact in Turkey it is almost, I explained France. Initially, the Turks tried to bring in the French, but the parties did not agree on terms. From the point of view of Russia's long-term interests in the Turkish direction, cooperation in the field of peaceful atom seems to be the most promising. The service life of modern Russian-made energy plugs is 60 years, and up to 100 years if the service life is extended. And at least during this period, the energy ties between the countries cannot be interrupted. It is also important that Turkish nuclear specialists have been and will continue to be trained at Russian universities. The latter will form a certain environment of expert scientific interrelations, which will be extremely difficult for anyone, including any of the Western countries, to break. After all, there is a different school of specialist training there, tailored to their logic of nuclear power and their reactors. This is well understood by pro-Western forces in Turkey. It is not uncommon to see articles in the Turkish opposition media in which local opposition figures call on the authorities to come to their senses. Thus, the article by the author of the Turkish pro-Western publication Deniz Zirek claims that Moscow is allegedly building a serious military infrastructure in Mersin under the pretext of building the station. The fact that this is impossible, because it is impossible in principle, does not bother the Turkish fifth column at all. The so-called ecosystems are also singing along to the pro-Western journalists, who are particularly worried when it comes to the Russian peaceful atom. They don't say anything about the Fukushima bill, they don't say anything about accidents at US nuclear plants either. This, by the way, means that energy diplomacy must be accompanied by our soft media and educational power. In particular, it would be quite expedient to organize Russian-Turkish media forums on a regular basis. Overall, nuclear diplomacy has become an important component of Russian foreign policy. Suffice it to recall that in late January, the Russian and Egyptian presidents timed to elaborate. In addition, Rosatom has already received several applications from African countries. South Africa in particular is a case in point. The African continent is hardly the most promising destination for the Russian peaceful atom. The local population is experiencing notable difficulties with electricity. Over 500 million people are basically living without it. Can you imagine? Only 10% of the continent's total population has access to the electricity grid. That's just awful. And for Rosatom's cause in large and influential countries in the East, such as Turkey and Europe, to Egypt will further increase interest, including in Africa. And interest will be followed by contracts. The benefit of such an instrument as the Russia-Africa Summit brings results every year.